I was a devout Muslim and a soldier for Hezbollah. I believed in Islam with all my heart, so much so that I read the Quran cover to cover every 10 days. I prayed every prayer, fasted, and did everything I could to please Allah. I even admired Hitler and believed he hadn't finished the job when it came to the Jewish people. My hatred for Jews was so strong, even though no Jew had ever harmed me. At one point, I was on my way to the United States to convert Christians to Islam. I carried 30 illegal passports, but during my journey, I was arrested in Malaysia and thrown into prison. Even in jail, I stayed committed to Islam, praying and fasting as I always had. I thought I was living a life that pleased Allah. Then one day, while I was praying in my cell, something extraordinary happened. A man appeared before me. He was shining with a light that I cannot describe. It wasn't like any light I had ever seen. It carried a presence, a holiness. And in that moment, I realized something devastating. I was not holy. Despite all my prayers, fasting, and dedication, I knew I was unworthy. I was sinful. I thought, the only just thing for him to do is to kill me. I was terrified. I ran to the corner of the room, curled up, and started crying out, "Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me." But deep down, I didn't believe I could be forgiven. Then I felt a touch on my left arm. He said to me, "I forgive you." Instantly, the weight of guilt and shame I had been carrying my whole life was lifted off me. I was forgiven, but I didn't understand how. I asked, "Who are you?" "Only God can forgive sins, but you just forgave me." "You are God, but you're not the God I've studied. Who are you?" He replied, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." Those words hit me like lightning. As a Muslim, I had prayed countless times asking God to show me the straight path. And now, here was this man saying, He is the way, the truth, and the life. It was a concept I couldn't comprehend. The way wasn't a direction. It was a person. The truth wasn't something to measure. It was Him. And the life wasn't just a source. It was Him. Still overwhelmed, I asked, "What is your name?" He said, "Jesus Christ." The anger, the hatred, the darkness that had consumed me my whole life, it was gone. Jesus had replaced it with peace and love. Before that moment, I hated the Jewish people for no reason. I admired Hitler. But after encountering Jesus, everything changed. I realized hatred wasn't from God. It was from Satan. God didn't create us to hate or to kill. He created us to love. Jesus is not a God who celebrates the death of others, especially the Jewish people to whom He gave the land of Israel. Jesus transformed my heart. He showed me what love really is. And He saved me from the hatred that had blinded me for so long. I know now that He is the way, the truth, and the life. And He is the God who forgives. At that moment, it felt like all the bones in my body were pulled out. I collapsed to the ground like a lifeless piece of meat. I began to weep uncontrollably. It was as if the world around me had changed, like seeing colors for the first time after living in a colorless world.